Okay, so what I'm gonna do is so that I'm not constantly looking at myself because it's a distraction. I look like a disembodied head. I'm just gonna flip over to Tumblr here. I don't have an ad blocker on, so I'm not responsible for whatever gross Timu ads you see because this shit is so. I hate Timu. But anyway, I'm gonna go through all this stuff that I wrote down, and I hope that it helps someone with Stranger Things. So we're just gonna go through. Um, in general, I literally have like 20 to 30 pages of this, and hopefully I can get this done in the next 45 minutes so that I can go lay down and go to sleep for like an hour. Um, but I want to talk about this stuff because the whole reason why I um, am back on social media really is because of Stranger Things, but also because I needed something to do with my life, and literally the answer was always in front of me, which was just talk about Cold War stuff. Hello. And I kept gaslighting myself to be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And it turns out I probably do know what I'm talking about. I'm just insane. So, I'm going to go over these. And this is just stuff that if you love Stranger Things and you're on the conformity gate train or bus, which is one of the words here, um, I hope that this helps someone. And I'm also going to talk about where I think this show is going because I think we're in for a wild, wild ride. Um, so Netflix has been putting out these to dumb puzzles, and I don't do the puzzles. I just read them. And one of the okay, actually, this is the first answer that I saw today because I started writing down all the puzzle answers because I noticed today on the most recent one, I guess for the 17th or the 16th, it's spelled eels, and and there's like this ocean theme going on. So I started to go back and see if there's any connections there, but I think you should look and you should shine a light on there. So the first word is bus. Um, the clue was vehicle or driver. Actually, that's a lie. I don't know if that was the clue. That's just what I thought. But also computer. Um, the next one is wave, which could be like sine, cosine, tangent. I think I'm really bad at math. And then wave can also mean light. It can be a symbol. You can wave. It could be the ocean. So there's a lot. There's these words that they're using have like double and triple meanings. So, um, let's see. One of the puzzles highlighted flamingo, uh, and it was a little puzzle, and it had like a flamingo floaty. Now, all the stuff that I talk about is intelligence related. There is a flamingo, um, like magazine, I guess is like what you would call it, that came out in the 60s. Now, this is crazy, okay? And I'm just gonna vaguely touch on all this because there's so much information, and the reason why I'm doing this again is so that other people can look at it and go, oh, this gets my brain going. Now, before I get into all this, let me pick this microphone up. Let me get close to this microphone. Jamie Campbell Bower went on the Tonight Show and he said, "You are the light," right? And I'm like 99% sure what he meant was start looking into all these puzzles and all these details in the show and the background details, and you will have answers to what is actually going on, okay? Or what will be going on. My best guess is we're in for a treat where we're gonna get like Back to the Future and Indiana Jones. I know this sounds insane, you guys, but there's so many details that I have found, like Hi, Coral. Is that you or is that Bean? But there's so many background details that I have found in the past 2 months. It's ridiculous. I found cryptologic stuff. I found submarine stuff. There's, I think what's gonna happen, there is an entire Polish resistance story that I think we're gonna see. And we're probably gonna start with, we might go as far back to Kazushko, but I think we're probably gonna start with the Warsaw Uprising. And then go from there. And the reason why I think we're able to do this is because Dr. Brenner in the show, Abby normaled a bunch of different people's brains and stored them somehow. And I think we're going to be able to jump through people's memories because they're in someone's head. I don't know whose head they're in, but I think we're going to run the gamut of Polish resistance, and it's going to be amazing. Because I tell you what, Poland, if it wasn't for Poland, we would not have made it through the Cold War. Like, they were just as important as any other NATO state, right? Or any other treaty. So, what else do I have here? I've got, Flamingo was a magazine. This is crazy. So this was a magazine in the 60s. It only lasted about 5 years, but it introduced ska to the UK. It built up, I believe, Pan-African relationships and and Indian relationships, but it didn't last long because people started asking, like, well, who's funding this and why? And yeah, so there's that. But listen, the people that came up with this magazine, okay, they were the handler for George Blake. George Blake was he was a double agent for the USSR. Truthfully, I can't remember what his deal was. I feel like he was part of the Cambridge Five, but I have to double check. I mean, I have the thing up now. I could probably check, but he was a double agent, and then with the puzzles, there's been a lot of imagery also in the show because season 3 has circus imagery. I learned that John le Carre, he called MI5, MI6 the circus, right? So this whole thing is an intelligence story. It's the history of intelligence. And what's fascinating about this is they are telling a cohesive, layered story. And the reason why I started making videos for real is because I saw a review channel that did like books or something, books and movies or TV, and they were like making fun of the fans. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm a super fan by any means, but I'm fascinated by how they're able to tell all these stories, okay? And everything's connected to each other. And I'm not a big fan of making fun of people that like stuff, right? Just leave people alone. So, I don't know. Just let people like stuff and go get a new hobby. But what this whole thing exposed was Stranger Things, and I think what the Duffers are trying to do is prove a point with like overconsumption and AI and how like you have all these review channels that put stuff out immediately, but then there's no thought behind it. And so you're getting this content that's like, yeah, it's okay, and it's like informative or whatever, but like they're just pumping it out just like any other thing. But then on the flip side, you have me, who is suddenly the most creative that I've been in like 20 years. So I don't know, man. I don't know. What else do we have? We have this category, other weird shit, which is just going into the circus imagery. Let's see. Hi, Bean. Choo choo choo. Oh yeah, I mean the ska music thing with the Flamingo magazine's wild. We'll probably find out that Mike is like related to that magazine or something. So, my other theory with all this Cold War stuff and like the Duffer Brothers and what they're trying to say or do, I think, obviously they're taking inspiration from Steven Spielberg and Stanley Kubrick. And I think if we get more content, there's a good chance that we're gonna flash to the Warsaw Uprising, and it's probably gonna be really sad, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's not a black and white episode. So let's run down real quick just 2 more things about Poland. We might see the Solidarity movement because that was huge. We might see the Polish Pope John Paul. We might see what else we got going on here? Oh, I wrote down, is Interpol involved? Because like, what is going on? I know this is a war. This has to be a war game that like definitely went wrong, right? Where's the police? Where's the FBI? Where's all the music? But I watched a video from DW and their news channel, and they highlighted the Polish Museum. Now, interestingly, what the Polish Museum pointed out is when Solidarity happened, that was so massive on such a big scale of people working together. I don't know if we'll ever see that again. And the museum director said, or the representative of the museum said, you know, because of the state of the world, will that ever happen again? But that's a direct reflection on what's happening with Conformity Gate and Stranger Things. And it's just, I love this so much. This is so great. Like, you're working with people, you're interacting with people that you normally wouldn't. You know, I've written probably 20 essays, right? It's crazy. I started a Substack. I wouldn't have done that without this show. I would still be, like, really mad. So, there's all that. Here's these notes, just so you can see. I'm not lying, I did write down a bunch of shit. The bottom corner is just about, like, space Nazis and stuff. And how I think that Henry's father maybe defected, and, like, his mom is maybe a space Nazi, and that's what really happened, where, like, she killed everyone, not Henry, and then just blamed Henry for stuff. And I think Henry's father was the captain of U-110. So, that's the whole thing, but I talked about that in another video. Now, with space Nazis, I don't think that you can write all of the Nazis off as space Nazis, because then you get rid of the banality of evil, which is extraordinarily important. Okay, so there's that page. We're going right through this. Okay, next page. Next page. This is just basically what I already said with Polish history. Colonel Kuklinski. So I think Jonathan's jacket somehow got me to the Polish Museum, which brought up Colonel Kuklinski's like passport thing or like documents. Like he's got his own museum. But um yeah, it's really bizarre what's going on in the background with this show. Um but Colonel Kuklinski, his father was in a work camp, and I think with Hopper, I think Dmitri might be Kuklinski's father, but we'll see in the show.